getting leads is just half the battle, The other half is like, how do you convert these leads into buyers?
Yeah. You don't give up on your dreams one day. It's just like, it just happens very gradually. And just that gradual aspect that people don't even notice. I recently had this goal to get this award called the SaaSpreneur Award. And that just goes to show another part of the mindset aspect is if I had set my goal to 1,000 accounts instead of 100, how would all of my actions have changed up until now?
Knowing marketing and knowing sales are like two very dangerous skills to have. We don't have to go out there and hire a marketing team.
Just having that skill is like opens up so many doors.
So many doors, bro.
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of The A-Lister Show. On The A-Lister Show, we bring you movers and shakers, people doing interesting things. And today we have another amazing guest. We have Jorge Mateo, all the way from Miami, Florida. Welcome, Jorge. How you doing today, man?
Doing fantastic. How you doing?
Good. Glad we got all set up, all good to go. Thanks for visiting and thanks for coming on the show.
Of course, man. I'm excited for this.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Tell me about what you've been up to. How's business? What kind of business are you? I know you're a man of many businesses. What have you been up to these days?
My main thing is an advertising agency.
Okay.
Something similar to you. I know you do Facebook ads. For me, I do specifically dog trainers. Yeah. So what I do is I look for dog trainers to help grow and scale their dog training business using the power of paid advertising, Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why dog trainers specifically?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I personally have a passion for dogs. I've worked with all type of industry in the past, like literally like top gurus in the game, spending a ton of money. And I don't know, I've always wanted to do something like in the dog space. So I got into working into, I got a few clients that were dog trainers. And when I ran their ads, they were getting like unbelievable results. The first dog trainer made like $30K the first month. And the second one, like within I think a month 3, they were like at 60,000.
Wow.
And then got another one, like first month at like 28. So I was like, yo,
wow.
Like this right here is like it's powerful, The offer that we built for them, the ads and the sales training that they're getting, a lot of the dog trainers that I'm talking to, they're using Google Ads, which I'm not saying that anything bad on Google Ads, but they're getting anywhere from $30 to $45 cost per lead, where on Facebook, I'm getting them anywhere from as low as $2,
Wow.
Anywhere from on average, I want to say $5 a lead. So I kind of want to just focus on that and just, do something in the dog world.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why do you think you're able to get such good results for dog trainers? Because you've tried a lot of different businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
You worked with a lot of different business owners. So what is it about dog trainers that for some reason they get better results?
One is because a lot of the population have dogs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of population have dogs. And a lot of the dogs are not well behaved, But we construct them an irresistible offer. A lot of, Alex Hormozy, you want to do an offer, give something so much value that, it hurts to give away for free.
Right.
You'll be dumb to say no to it. So we give them we create this offer for them where we create a program for them to give away for free. And that's one of the reasons why, we're getting a very low cost per lead. But I know that getting leads is just half the battle, The other half is how do you convert these leads into buyers?
Yeah.
So they also get the sales training needed in order to learn how to close, close those leads.
That's a big thing is business owners come in there they think they need leads, right? But what they really need is a better business,
Mm-hmm.
a better business model in general. And that's something I see with a lot of clients. I need leads and leads. But if I were to come in your business tomorrow and give you 1,000 leads, do you have the infrastructure in order to be able to convert those leads to paid clients?
Yep.
And so what you've done is you've kind of created a whole offer to where it's okay, you think you need leads, but we also have this problem. Once I get you leads, you're going to have this next problem. And then you're going to have this next problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just wanted, I wanted to be different than any other advertising agency, to also help with the sales.
Yeah.
Me personally, I didn't really I wasn't aware of how important sales was until like a year ago. And that's when I'm just like, whoa, like knowing marketing and knowing sales are like two very dangerous skills to have.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which, you know too, I know you're crushing it as well. And you have both,
Yeah.
like we don't have to go out there and hire a marketing team, just because, we know the space. We know how to get leads. And with that also, it kind of helps us because like that money that, we could be spending on or investing on like on a marketing agency, like we're using that on ads. So kind of like it's a huge benefit that, we know this skill.
It is. Yeah. I think having that skill is one of the most valuable skills you can have because, I say this all the time. It doesn't matter how good you are at that thing that you do, like whatever it is that you do. If you aren't able to generate leads, you're going to watch people that are less skilled than you end up making a lot more money than you. And that's a really frustrating thing as a business owner. And you could be the best dog trainer in the world, and there's some mediocre dog trainer down the street that's making 10 times more money than you. And it's very, very frustrating.
Yep.
And so you have to find a way to be able to share that message with the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And another reason why I kind of wanted to start and like focus on like, the dog niche and help dog trainers is because, like I said, I do have a passion for dogs, And I remember one time, bro, that when I adopted my dog, because all the dogs that I've had had been rescued, I've been adopted, except this last one, which I feel kind of guilty about. But, he's a golden retriever from like Champions Blood, half French, half Ukraine. But I got him because I proposed to my wife with the dog. She doesn't really like jewelry, so I'm like, all right, cool. I can't really go all out like on a ring or anything like that, but wanted to do something special. So I bought her dream dog, and that was like the first dog that I've ever bought. But, I've always been, adopt, don't shop kind of mentality. And I mean, one of my biggest goals is to try to save as many dogs as possible from like the adoption center. Like I do want to get like, I don't have enough room right now for like 2 dogs, but I definitely want to be able to be in the position or have like a backyard where I can adopt the oldest dog in the animal shelter and just give them like the best lives.
Couple years.
Yeah. So like I was living in Miami. It was at the time I didn't really have any family over there. My roommate at that time, which was like a childhood friend that I've known since like first grade, he was working all the time. So it was just kind of like me by myself, And you know how it is with like the grind, like it can get a little lonely, it can get a little lonely. So that's when I decided to just go to the animal shelter. And I'm like, all right, let me go see what's up. And then I saw a dog, an Australian Shepherd, which they've been like one of my favorite dogs. I adopted him, but man, when I went there were so many dogs that I'm just like, that needed homes. I'm just like, man, I really wish I can like,
take them all.
Exactly. Yeah. Like take them all. But obviously I couldn't. But I was talking to like someone there, and they told me that a lot of them just get, returned just because of like behavioral issues, And for me, that kind of like, it kind of like stuck to me. So whenever, I started like running ads and got like the dog clients, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I think this right here is the sign. Like this right here is like the perfect opportunity to not only help dog trainers, but also help the dogs, Yeah. So
I think that's so cool about how you proposed to your wife with the dog. Because, talk about marketing. Before they had direct marketing, before direct marketing was a thing, you had like branding and basically brainwashing. And the diamond industry basically brainwashed everyone into thinking that if you love your wife, you need to buy a diamond. You need to spend 3 months' salary on a ring, go into debt to buy this material thing. Otherwise, you don't love your wife.
Yeah.
And it fooled women and men. And I'm 36 or something like that. I think I'm 36. And so like when I was born, this was already like the reality that we live in. But like in the 60s, that's when it started. 50s and 60s when it started. Before that, they didn't even have, like, diamonds wasn't even like a thing that people did for rings.
Yeah.
So at some point, a marketing campaign came along, and all of a sudden, you have to buy a diamond if to prove that you love your spouse.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So luckily, I have my partner understands, my wife understands, and so we just got little bands. But
Nice.
that's what. But I love the idea in something a little more meaningful than just what somebody else told you was valuable or important.
Yeah. No, yeah, and it was cool. I mean, definitely she was not expecting it. Like everyone I tell them to, they're like, "Oh my God, that's a crazy story," And I mean, I would have, done a dog over a diamond like any day, just because like, man, my dog, he's a English cream golden retriever. Like he's just an amazing dog. He's so gentle with my nieces, so gentle with my wife. Like with me, like we'll play around, you can get like a little rough, like in a friendly, playful way. But like he's just like the best like company, especially if, for me working at like my office, at my house, and I don't really get like a lot of like in-person interaction, So just having him there is really cool. Taking him for walks is really cool, like even like training him is really cool. Just spending some time with him. So
are you learning a lot about the training side too?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you learning that stuff? Is it through your clients and stuff, or are you going into like education on that as well for you?
Man, that's a good question. A little bit of both, just because I do understand that and I tell like everyone at work, like, I'm full transparent. I don't want to hide stuff, where I've been running exercise 2017. So that's my specialty. I never really trained dogs, but I understood that I need to get into like the vocabulary, the terms, and like different styles of training. So I would do my own research. Like luckily we live in a time where we have a lot of resources, free resources like YouTube, where we can just learn.
Yeah.
Just learn and I'm just trying to like educate myself on that world.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's important too. And that's one of the benefits of niching down is that you can become an expert, not just in the ads, but the actual business itself. And then you can provide even extra value to your clients.
Yeah.
Is that what you've done? So you've kind of like, you're able to kind of take a holistic approach beyond just the leads, but like every single step along the process.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I mean, if I had the time, I would want to like shadow someone or pay like a trainer and be like, hey, like teach me for like 2 weeks kind of stuff. But, I'm just trying to get, the best results, grow my team. And, also like in my free time, since I have this skill, we have this skill of, putting something out to the world. Not just to the world, but like a specific location that we want. So there's been like a few times where I'm like scrolling on Instagram, and then I followed these like animal rescue pages, like of animal shelters, and I saw one dog that was like at the animal shelter for like 6 months, and I was like the longest resident. I saw the video, and man, it just broke me. I was like I want to take you home, but I can't. So I tried contacting the like animal shelter and be like, hey, can I like use your video? Can I run ads? Like I'm not asking for any money. I just want to do this to try to get them adopted faster by running an ad on a like 30-40 mile radius of the location and just get exposure.
Yeah.
And I try to hit them up, but never respond to me, never respond to my emails or anything. So I just said, well, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. And I did it, but I didn't really have any communications with them, but like, I can't really say that it was me that did it, but 2 days later after the ads were live, which got a lot of views, got adopted.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then I did that again for another dog, and like 3 days later, like I got adopted again.
That's so powerful.
Yeah. So
that's the power of marketing.
Yeah, dude.
And you don't even it doesn't even matter what it is, but just having that skill, this like opens up so many doors.
So many doors, bro.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's that's something that like I want to focus on more on my free time.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah. And so how long did you have to run ads before somebody found, or 2 days on one and then 3 days on another?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so quick.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show, if somebody at that shelter, I mean, they're paying to house those pets, those dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably a lot cheaper to run ads for 2 days than it is to house a dog for 6 months.
Yeah. 100%, 100%. So that's why for me, man, I just want to be able to get like more involved and try to help, as many dogs. So that's why I tell like any new client that joins Canine Conversions, I was like, hey, listen, like I know a lot of you guys have some sort of like relationship with an animal shelter, animal rescue group, whatever it is. Like one of the things that I like to do as like volunteer in my free time, like using my own money, like I'm not asking anything in return. It's like, hey, if you're in contact with someone and they have like some sort of like, adoption events, or they have way too many dogs and they need to like, adopt them, I want to help and just pretty much just run their ads for
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So tell me what it's been like for you building out this agency.
It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's been a roller coaster, but for the most part, it has been fun.
How did you get into running ads in the first place?
This was like 2015 or 2016. My first ever course that I've ever bought was like Ty Lopez.
Okay.
And starting like your
Like a cheap one or an expensive one?
I think I spent like $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
pretty expensive.
Yeah, I think I spent like $1,000,
Okay.
and it was like social media like marketing agency or something like that. And that's where I got introduced to like the internet marketing, world. But it wasn't until I want to say like a year later that I got introduced to affiliate marketing. And I got into that, and I got a mentor who's a really good friend of mine, and he's the one that taught me about running Facebook ads. So then I joined this. I was in affiliate marketing. I did pretty well. Like I started to become like a top earner, and then from there, like I was speaking at some events, like talking about Facebook. But that's like when I first got introduced to Facebook ads. Yeah, and ever since from then, I've just been kind of like running ads, for myself, for past companies, for other people, for other companies, and yeah, I mean, everything had just been like organic. Never really ran any ads.
That's nice.
Yeah. Until like recently, until I started, running Canine Conversions. Just because I didn't really have a following at all. A lot of people they don't know me yet. But they're starting to. They're starting to. But that's how I kind of like started into like that like internet like world and Facebook ads.
What do you think is one of the hardest part about growing an agency or starting an agency?
Having the right team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having the right team, finding like the right people, and finding people that are are aligned with like your visions. Not just because people who want to like find like a job, like sometimes they're just like, all right, 9 to 5, I'm done, and they're kind of that mentality, But this, bro. Like it's all about the grind,
Yes.
and trying to look for hustlers and people with the same vision and just keep pushing. Because it does. There's times where it does get tough, but you have to just kind of keep pushing, not give up.
Yeah, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
If you don't give up, it's like, yeah. For me, it's always been are your customers out there? If yes, then like how do you reach them? And also, it's like something that's been keeping me going recently is, has somebody else done this before, what I'm trying to do? And if yes, then like I can do it too.
Yep.
Like there are people out there that are less intelligent than you, making way more progress because they just keep going. They don't give up.
Exactly.
And they just stick with one thing until they figure it out.
Yeah.
I've been a victim. I've been guilty of like opportunity hopping. I've gone from thing to thing to thing. In one sense, they all kind of build on each other. But I do get bored. Like I have a pressure washing business. I still have, and like before that, I was doing like marketing also, and before that I was doing like iPhone repairs. But I always felt like it always made sense to me, and they always kind of build on each other. Like I had an iPhone repair company. That was like my first business, and it was in a small town, and I opened up one shop and then opened up a second shop. And then I just realized like I'm not going to make the type of money that I would like to make in my life. And so I sold that. So that makes sense. And so, and a few other times where I've started something and just, kept going. But yeah, I think just people also underestimate how hard this stuff can be.
Yep.
Because of the Tai Lopez's,
Yeah.
But it's possible. Anybody can, but you have to have the right skills, obviously. For me, it's just been, it's been a grind for sure.
Yeah.
About finding the right people to work with and like finding like what kind of business I want to run.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, and I like this business I'm in now is because like I see that there's no ceiling. Where I've been in a lot of businesses before, where like my pressure washing business, it's a small local business, and there's only so many houses in the one area. And I'm limited by the number of trucks that we have and human capital that I bring on and stuff. Whereas like this business is like there's millions of businesses, millions of people that can help, that can help. And so that's what I really like about this. Is there's really just no ceiling.
Yep. So then let me ask you this, right? Because feel like we're kind of like in the same industry and stuff. How important to you is mindset?
It's the operating system that you run off of. And I really didn't really understand it until more recently. And I realized that you have to feed your mind. And sometimes it can feel like a chore, like listening to personal development stuff. But when I go for a walk and I put on something motivational, then when I get back from my walk, I feel good. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas if you put on something like, if you listen to some like, I don't know, like political shit and you go for a walk, you just feel like angry when you get back.
Yeah.
And so in my car, I listen to Alex Hormozy, in my car, I'll put Tony Robbins on, or I'll listen to like a lot of people I listen to like Myron Golden these days and Dan Henry, just a lot of people. And I just remind myself that these people are humans and they've just, they've accomplished something because they haven't given up. Yeah. But mindset is the operating system that allows you to work from. And you can upgrade your operating system, but it can be hard sometimes.
Yeah.
But one important thing is having like the right goal. And like for example, I recently had this goal to get this award called the SaaSpreneur Award, which means, have you heard of it by the way?
Like very, very, very little of it. Yeah. I know you had told me about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's from an award from Go High Level, right?
Yeah. So Go High Level, it's an amazing software. If you haven't heard of it, I know you have, but other people, basically it's like this software that's really great for small businesses. And as an agency, I can get sub accounts. So I can find people that need this software and then I can have them pay me for that software like per month. And if I get 100 sub accounts, so 100 people pay me every single month, I qualify for an award called the SaaSpreneur Award because it's a SaaS entrepreneur, SaaSpreneur Award. And I get a fancy plaque,
Nice.
And so that was my goal for a long time. Not even that long, actually. I decided one day I wanted to get it. And then I just went super hard, like really hard for like 90 days. And then I got it. And I think most people haven't gotten into that fast. Some people will work, years or a long time to get that many accounts. And I got it in a short amount of time. And then when I hit it, something kind of like shifted psychologically in me. Like I kind of stopped hustling as hard. I took my foot off the gas pedal a little bit. I found, and like when I look back at it, I think that there were like in my mind, I actually at the same time that I hit it, like right when I hit it, I got to like 120, 130 accounts. And then at that same time, I started coming across like challenges. Like my cost per lead went up, my sales went down, my webinar conversion rate was dropping. And like, I can't help but think that was more than just a coincidence. Like at the same time that I hit that goal, then all of a sudden these challenges that all of a sudden I couldn't overcome started piling up at the exact same time. And in reality, it's probably because I started to get content a little bit. And so it's been about a month since I hit that. And now I'm kind of like getting back into it. And And so, but yeah, what reason why I say that is because subconsciously I probably started to say, oh, I can chill a little bit. Even though in my mind, like I told myself I'm not going to chill.
Yeah.
But then how else can I explain that all these different things happened at the exact same time? So I have to believe that if I had the same mentality and I hadn't hit that goal, then I would have approached those challenges differently, and I wouldn't have seen them as things that would have slowed me down.
Yeah.
But also, I was experiencing burnout, like because I was on like 8 or 9 sales calls a day. I was I was doing everything myself. I was doing 8 or 9 sales calls a day. I was doing a webinar every single night. And on top of that, I was trying to fulfill all these clients that I was bringing on. And it just wasn't sustainable. But I told myself that I was going to get this award, and then I was going to like change everything about my business after. But when also I hit that 100 accounts way quicker than I thought I was going to hit it. Like, I thought I probably wasn't going to hit it even by now, but I hit it like a month earlier. And that just goes to show another part of the mindset aspect is if I had set my goal to 1,000 accounts instead of 100, how would all of my actions have changed up until now?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just felt like once I hit it, I was like, okay, like what now? But yeah, so you have to have your goal has to be big enough. Your goal has to be big.
Yeah. I know.
At the time, the 100 accounts seemed big too. It seemed unattainable.
And you got it pretty fast too.
I got it pretty fast. I'm pretty proud of that. But at the time, it was just big enough to reach that flow state. You know about flow state, like a little bit?
Very, very, very little about it.
Well, my understanding of flow state is like if you can experience flow state when you are faced with a challenge that's just challenging enough to motivate you, but not too challenging to where you decide that you can't do it, and not too easy to where it doesn't really push you hard enough to achieve that goal. So in order for you to work towards flow state, you have to be working towards a goal that's hard enough for you to achieve, but not too hard to where it's unmotivating, and not too easy to where it doesn't require you to operate at a high level.
Gotcha.
And I think about this in like RPMs. I talk about it in RPMs. Like there's a sweet spot in RPMs where you're getting maximum horsepower in your car.
Yeah.
And I think, life works the same way. Like if you don't have any meetings, you don't have any goals, your schedule's wide open, then you're operating at RPM really low. And when you're doing 9 meetings a day and a webinar and running a business, you're in the red zone. And you're going to burn out. And so there's a sweet spot in there that you have to like stay at. And so I was trying to like work towards that flow state.
Gotcha. Yeah. I felt like I had like a similar situation, not necessarily like in business, but like in like in health and working out. Just because I used to weigh I didn't weigh myself at the biggest, but I was like 250 when I weighed myself. Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, like
really 250,
yeah, bro.
You're like 190 now, right?
Yeah. I'm like 190 now. Like I fluctuate from like 180, 190. Really depending if I'm doing a lot of cardio, if I'm like. Right now that I trained for the marathon, I was like 180. Yeah. Because it was nothing but cardio. But now I started going hitting the gym again. Yeah. And so now it's just like, it just really depends. I have like my phases, right? But when I was like at 250, right? Which I wasn't like that all my life. It's just, once college hit, I started, gaining weight. I went from playing in like 2-3 different soccer teams to working and going to school, and didn't really have time for like soccer, just like 1 time a week. So I started getting a lot of weight. So then when I got to Miami, I was already a little heavy, but I knew that I wanted to do something. That was the time where that business just went down, and I knew I just needed to do something. I needed to continue to grow, even if it's not financially. Even though I am working on it, I have to keep doing something, and so I got a boxing trainer. I got a boxing trainer. I was lifting weights, running bikes. Within a year, I went from 250 to I think it was 150 or something. Yeah, bro. I went crazy, like 100 pounds, dude, and crazy too, because I was shredded abs and everything, no drinking. Well, no drinking beer.
Okay.
No drinking beer, yeah, but I would still, drink the sugar-free Red Bull and vodka like
Right.
from time to time. But like the last 3 months, I had one goal, and my one goal was like that before and after picture.
Yeah.
That was my only goal, the 1 year before and after picture.
Yeah.
And I was working hard for it. And like the last 3 months, man, like my diet was so boring, but like very, very strict. Eating like, chicken, broccoli. I was like working out twice a day.
Wow.
Sometimes 3 times a day, like running a lot, doing like 1,000 abs a day. So then like I eventually, after like the 1 year picture, I took that picture and then I got burned out.
That's happens.
I got burned out and I was taking it a little bit more easier. But yeah, after that 1 year, I'm like, okay, cool. Like since I didn't have like what's next.
Yeah.
I still worked out every day. I wasn't going as aggressively, but like now whenever I went out with my friends, I had like a little beer.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, eventually I started to get more muscle and eat more. But yeah, so then now, I'm like trying to get a little bit more toned.
Yeah.
Now that I finished my marathon, which it was in August, like the end of August.
Okay. So just about a month ago.
Yeah. About a month ago. It was definitely fun but painful.
Mm-hmm.
Fun but painful. I live in Miami, so I didn't really want to like running in the summer it sucked. It sucked. So I would wake up early and run before like the sun would come out. But there'll be times where I'm like up like at 4 and start running at 4:30 a.m. And just training for it was a little painful, but fun, very like mentally, like and physically challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But then leading up to the marathon, like I was able to complete it. But funny story with that though is I use this app called Strava.
Yeah.
And I would run I trained up to 23 miles. When I run the marathon, I got to a point where I'm like, all right, I need to stop. Like I need to stretch my legs because my thighs are hurting. Like in order for me to continue this and finish this, I need to stop. And so I do that. I did that, and I get my phone to see where I'm at, and it said I was already in 26 miles.
Yeah.
And I still had 4 more miles to go. So I don't know if that messed with me psychologically, where the last stretch was so painful, so painful.
Do you remember the time on the last 3 miles compared to your average? Up until that 26 and then the last 3?
I don't remember the time, but I remember that for 1 mile, I just walked. I walked because I was just like, I never say I can't, I don't like to say that, but I'm like, I think I need to walk this and try to, rest up in order to finish this.
Right.
But the whole time I'm like, just keep going. You're almost there. Just that kind of self-talk. But the cool thing though is when you're running that marathon, bro, there's so many people out there just cheering you on.
Yeah.
Saying you got this. And then the little bib has your name. So just these random people calling you by your name. You got this. You're almost there. So that right there was one of the coolest experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where in Mexico was it?
Mexico City.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, the cool part, my whole family went too. So
that's dope.
Yeah, it was fun seeing everyone.
Nice. I ran 2 marathons. And by the way, the that whole aspect of once you reach that goal, when you got your before and after picture, that's just man, that's it's so true. And that's why it's important to have those things. You have to leverage that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ideally, we are strong enough to be okay, I'm going to do this for life. But unfortunately, you have to play games with yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to set those, For me, it was, I learned that earlier on, that's really an effective way for me to actually get something done.
Yeah.
So I started using that. For example, for fighting.
Uh-huh.
Right? I started doing fighting. Okay, you train and then you fight, And it's you train as hard as you can and then it's the event. Or like when I was learning a language, I was in Brazil and I was learning Portuguese, and I had a speaking event where I was gonna have to go speak in front of a classroom. And so I'm like, okay, I better like practice this, or like anything, like the marathons, or what else? Like a lot of times, jujitsu competitions. That's a big one. You know, it's like if I don't have jujitsu competitions booked, then I'm not really training. But all I have to do is just book a competition, and then and subconsciously, and now I'm training more, I'm training harder, my mindset's different. And so that's how I made so much progress in martial arts, is just because by having that stuff booked. But yeah, so my first marathon, the most I ever ran before the training was like 18 miles.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
And then I went. But yeah, and I didn't understand that aspect of like, because when you're running on your phone, it's like when you're tracking it, it's like, okay, I ran 3 miles, I ran 6 miles or whatever. But a marathon is a course that's 26 miles. You run a lot further because you squiggle, or, left and right, and like you don't take the most effective, efficient route. And so your actual marathon ends up being a lot longer than the marathon, than 26 miles.
Yeah.
So you ran a 26-mile course, but you may end up running 30 miles. And that surprised me too. I don't understand. I was like, I ran like 30 miles. What the hell is this? But yeah, that'll mess with you.
Yeah, no, it was it was definitely challenging, but yeah, back to like what you were saying about like, setting dates for certain things. That's the reason why I signed up for that marathon. I saw that I was lacking a little.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, sign up for a marathon.
Yeah.
Once you sign up, you have nothing. You have to, like train for it,
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was like one thing for me, is just like I can admit to myself when I'm getting too comfortable, and I like to check myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, getting too comfortable. Like I have to do something challenging, And I feel like that's something that like has helped me out in like in my personal life a lot, just, not settling and just keep pushing and having the right mindset and just, being disciplined.
Yeah. Same with the 6-week challenge, right? Did you finish that? You finished that already, right?
I finished that while I was like, training for the marathon. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, same thing. Like I have to admit that after my 6-week challenge ended, I kind of let the foot off the gas a little bit. I'm still consistent. I wake up every day, and I'm going to the gym every day. Like I wake up at 4:45. I'm at the gym by 5, and but for example, I was doing 30 minutes of cardio per day, 30 minutes of stairs per day, but now I'm doing 15 minutes every day. Now I might add in a little bit of sweets. Now I have a Pepsi once in a while.
Yeah.
You know what that's called? It's called drifting.
Yeah.
It's called drifting. Did you read the book? Oh man, was it? I thought it was part of the program. I don't know if you.
No, I didn't read the book.
Okay, yeah. So there's this concept, and it's called drifting. And once I heard it, I was like, oh fuck, that's what it is. And it's important to like understand what it is, because then you could recognize it when it happens in your life. When you see it around you. But just the concept of drifting, like think about it as if you're a boat and you want to go from point A to point B. Okay, that is like a direct path. Think about what drifting is. It's like you kind of just let the wind take you a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's taking you off the path a little bit. And when we lose our goals, it's not because like, okay, today I'm going to become a meth addict.
Yeah.
That's not how it happens. You try meth once, Yeah. It's like you start fucking around and having drinking every night, and then you have a little bit of this and you have a little of that,
Yeah.
You don't just become a degenerate. On day 2, right? It's like it's a path. You start off the drifting. You drift away from your path. And once I recognized that, I was like, oh shit. Like, and now you can realize it when it happens in your life. So, just one drink is no problem. Like, that's the beginning of the drifting. It's like, it's like, okay, well, I had one drink per week is not that bad. It's like, but there's people out there that are doing way worse than me,
Yeah.
And so this book, it's called Outwitting the Devil.
Okay, yeah. That one already, yeah.
Okay, so it's by Napoleon Hill, for people that haven't read it. And the whole premise of this book is Napoleon Hill, he meets the devil, and he has a conversation with the devil, and he learns all the tricks that the devil uses to influence and crush people's dreams. And one of his biggest tricks is he causes people to drift. And that's really powerful, because you don't give up on your dreams one day. It's just like it just happens very gradually. And this that gradual aspect that people don't even notice.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. He talks about how like, and I'm not a very religious person, but I relate to this stuff because it just makes sense in like the law of humanity and psychology. And he says like the devil occupies any white space in everything. And so what you have to do is not allow for white space by being completely fully intentional about everything that you do. Because if you're not fully intentional, like if you have a circle, okay, and the circle is completely filled up with your intention, but any white space because you don't have that intention, that's where like the devil creeps in.
Yep.
And that's what causes drifting, and that's what causes you to lose your path. And so if if I have the foot in the pedal and I'm going straight towards my goal, then it's not possible for me to drift because I am pushing myself forward. But if I let the foot off the gas, then I can be taken off course a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that analogy was like really, really interesting to me, drifting. And so whenever I notice it, I'm like, I'm drifting, you know? And it's okay to recognize it. And it's like, it's not to never ever drift. It's just to start to recognize it and be able to pull yourself back. Yeah. You know, and be honest with yourself. Like, yeah, I'm drifting.
Yep. No, that's 100% true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill is weird because like the book is written in like 1940, and it's like it's weird how things just don't change, you know?
Did you read or did you listen to the audiobook?
I listened to it.
Yeah. Well, when you say like if I read Drifting, I thought that was like another book. But Outwitting the Devil, yeah, Miguel he recommended it. I listened to it like on like I listened back to back, just because it was like very, very powerful. And I was like, yeah, like it all makes sense, you know? Like you're absolutely right. Like the devil occupies any white space.
Yeah.
You know? So for me, I thought it was like very, very powerful book.
Yeah. And what's interesting to me about it is just thinking about how relevant it is today. And what that tells me is that you can learn so much from other people, other people that have been there, done that, right? And it's like I can leverage what has been done decades and decades before if I'm willing to have an open mind and listen to those things. Because like we're humans, everything that we possibly want to do or have done, every desire, every fear, every instinct that we have has already existed and has happened like millions and billions of times before. And so we're not unique in that way. We're each a unique person, but all of our drives and everything that's like instinctual and primal, we're all human. And so like humanity doesn't change that much. And so that's kind of like the value of mentorship, where if I'm trying to accomplish something, financial success, there are people that have already accomplished that. So all I have to do is find out people that have accomplished what I'm trying to accomplish and learn from them and be open to it. Because we don't have time on this earth to figure it out for ourselves.
Yep. I agree.
By the time I figure it out, I'm on a new mission, you know?
Yeah.
Because like when I'm 75 years old, like my challenges and interests and they're going to be different than they are now at 36.
Yep.
You know, so it's really interesting that we have to leverage what people have already like. I learned this in martial arts. You know, it's like I don't have to go like reinvent the wheel. Like my professor will tell me exactly what I need to do. Just do what he says.
Yep.
You know, so that's interesting.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I guess. Excuse me. Going to like martial arts, right? How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
Like 10 years.
10 years?
Maybe 11, yeah.
Why jiu-jitsu? And the reason why I ask is because my new challenge is getting in some sort of like mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Reason why I haven't chose because I don't know exactly what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, boxing's cool.
Yeah.
You know, boxing's cool. How did I get into it? I don't know. I think I just got into it. My friend brought me, hey, you want to come work out? You know, because I hated working out. I hated counting reps. I hated like sitting on a treadmill. And so I'm like, oh, this is fun. It's just fun. But then something happens and you have this tendency to try to master something. Yeah. And then you get good at something and then it becomes kind of like part of your identity. And then everyone expects you to be good at it. You know, so then you have to maintain that. So I kind of just like fell into it.
Gotcha.
For working because I wanted to get in shape.
Nice.
But I became addicted because I'm a smaller guy, weigh about 155, 160 pounds. And it's just something so powerful and awesome about, having some big dude walk into the gym and me like straight faced, like not even breathing hard, being able to like control another human being. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I've learned so much about life through jiu-jitsu because, and don't get me started because I'll fucking go all day long with this shit, okay? But like a couple of things is like, I have confidence not because like when I see anybody on the street, like, and 99% of people are not trained, right? Out of shape, not trained. And I have confidence that I can handle myself with any of those people. And it's not because I think I'm tough or because I see red or because I'm strong or any of this stuff. It's because in the gym, I have the opportunity to prove that over and over and over again. Why? Because we see people coming in all day long. Like new guys, big buff guys, kickboxers, boxers, like it doesn't matter, like CrossFitters, weightlifters, it doesn't matter. If you're not trained, you won't do very well. It doesn't matter how your ego is or anything. And so the reason why I have confidence when I walk on the street is because I've done it thousands of times, not even thousands and thousands of times where I've rolled with people that are bigger, stronger, more athletic, and I can just choke them out, make them submit to me. Like that's cool. And it's not even like, I don't even have any kind of doubt. And it's because I've gone through it thousands of times. And so that's just powerful. Like, and it gives you some kind of crazy confidence. Like you walk into a room full of people and you're back of your mind, like I could fuck all these motherfuckers up. Like that is dope, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like boxing is like, it's more of a fair fight. Like, I mean, granted, like you give a high level boxer, obviously you're not gonna stand a chance, right?
Yeah.
But if you're boxing for like 4 or 5 years and you go and you find someone on the street, you'll do okay, but it's more of a fight.
Yeah.
Right? It's more of a like hope I don't get knocked out, like hope I knock this guy out before I knock him out. But like with grappling, it's like if I take you down, which I know how to take you down, then it's just gonna be child's play because I've done this thousands of times. Like you've never been there before. Yeah. So it's just a powerful feeling, like being able to like walk into a room and just feel like I'm good, Yeah. And that's fun, especially as someone that's smaller. Like, I'm 155 pounds. So it's just an empowering feeling.
That's awesome. Yeah. Cause when I was doing boxing, I did it to lose weight, but then I started doing it because I wanted to learn technique. And then just learning technique and learning a new skill was just something like I was in my zone right there,
Yeah.
And I haven't done that in a while. Like, yeah, sure, I shadow box and I hit the bag, for like an hour workout and stuff. But I miss being like committed to something like that and learning a new skill and just be focused on that because that's one of the only few times where you're away from technology.
Yeah,
we're in front of a screen a lot.
Yeah,
so that's like one of the only ways that you can grow as a person. You grow a skill that nowadays is very necessary to learn, but it's like you're just you with yourself,
Yeah. That's part of that flow state thing, right? And it's like it's challenging enough, and like you turn everything off, and when you're in that state, you literally don't think of anything else. Like you can't,
Yep.
It's just like you have to focus on what's in front of you, and so it's like forcing yourself to get into that state. The other thing that's super beneficial, and I didn't even realize, is that I was learning how to learn. I learned how to acquire skills. And for example, so the first thing is that like if you do something really basic over and over and over again, then you become a master at it. Like it sounds basic, but if you just do something so many times, then you can like master that one thing. And like you have to be willing to do the most boring shit until it becomes mundane.
Yeah.
And that was like, and also I learned that there's like levels to things. Because I'm a purple belt. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for like 10, 11 years. And if I go against a high-level black belt, like they'll just toy with me. Toy with me. Like I've never had jiu-jitsu in my life. And it's like, it just goes to show that there's like this aspect of levels.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Like you're telling me I can train for 10 years and they can make me feel like I've never trained in my life. And that has to be applied to like of course, that probably exists in the universe in other places. In marketing, in sales, in copywriting, in business, in finance, and everything. It has to exist. It's just like, if this exists here and it's a skill that you can learn and you can practice and get good at, then other things that are skills and you can practice and get good at, there's got to be the same aspects of levels. So that's when I started to realize the value of mentorship. Where I know that I don't want to go learn from a blue belt or a purple belt. I want to learn from the best of the best, because they can teach me the things that I would take me so much longer to figure out on my own.
Yeah.
So that's where I got that aspect of, like, the levels and how to learn, and also, of course, so much more like staying calm under pressure and staying humble. Like, I don't care, the ego leaves the gym. The ego, and that's boxing for sure as well. As like when you get in that place, it's like, someone's better than you, they beat you.
Yeah.
Just tap,
Yeah.
tap and start over, So a lot of really great life lessons. And one of my favorite things is, like, this guy, Damian Maia, he talked about this, and as a fighter, UFC fighter, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like black belt. And he says, how you are in Jiu-Jitsu is how you are in life. And so if you spaz out and you flip out and you lose your temper in Jiu-Jitsu, then you probably are like that way in life as well. And so if you can learn to control that on the mats, then you can also learn to control it in life, and vice versa. So, if you are aggressive in jiu-jitsu, or if you're thoughtful and you're slow and you're methodical, and on the mats, then that translates into life as well.
Yeah.
And so it's really just a playground for everything else that you do.
Yep.
And that can be said for a lot of things too, right? Not just jiu-jitsu, but that was just the vehicle that I fell into, and I'm glad I did. And then it became part of my identity, to where it's like, oh, he does jiu-jitsu, so like he probably, how good is he, And so now you have to keep it up.
Yeah.
People want to test you.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
And then you get a belt, and then the blue belts are coming for you, the white belts are coming for you. Like, is this guy really a purple belt? Does this guy really deserve that belt? So it becomes something you have to keep up.
Is purple the second to last one?
Third to last.
Third to last?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the other thing too. It's a long journey.
Yeah, I that's what I've heard. Like like, I was doing my research, and I knew, like, in order to be a black belt, something that you cannot do, like, in, like, less than 5 years. It takes, like, more than a decade to do.
More than a decade. I mean, the fastest ever was probably, I think BJ Penn got it in like 5 years. But typically, the saying is, like, how long does it take the average person to get a black belt? And the answer is, an average person will never get a black belt.
Yeah.
Right, but, like, 12 to 15 years, someplace in that range.
Yeah.
is kind of like an average black belt journey.
Damn.
Some people never get it. Some people get it a lot faster. I move around a lot. Sometimes I'm more consistent than others. So I don't level up as quickly as other people have.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I want to know more about an agency. So your agency, what's it been like as far as, like, building the business? Is it so aside from building the team, what are some of the other struggles that you're going through?
Let's see.
Is it easy?
No, it's definitely not easy. It's definitely not.
Is it getting easier? Do you see, like, the path to, like?
I do see the path. Important. But it's just, whenever you're starting a business, you're wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
You're wearing a lot of hats, and I feel like one of the challenging is trying to keep up with everything, and be, like, not necessarily a one-man show, but doing a lot of tasks that in the future you're gonna have, like, a whole team doing it, and it'll be much easier. But now it's just, like, I guess, time management and trying to organize to, like, do this, do that. Like, I know the importance of social media. Like, I know the importance of that. If I could be posting 5 times a day, I would. But I don't have the capacity to do that. Like, and just even posting, like, twice a day is a challenge.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a lot of things going on. So I feel just like that's one of the most challenging is, like, doing a lot of the things yourself, which that you're in the future you are gonna have a team, but just doing all of that. I feel like for me that's one of the challenging parts.
Doing the unscalable stuff in the beginning, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because for me, I'm a numbers guy. I like to see the numbers. Like, I can, if like the budget's big and like the offer is cool, like I like to find different angles when it comes to like finding, what's working when it comes to the ads. It's something that I've been, doing for like a very long time. Been doing it with really high budgets. Like I love like when I get clients with high budgets.
Yeah, that's fun.
Because then I
and they
can
don't
like
complain about like
yeah. That's because I'm here like, all right, perfect opportunity to start testing some new things out.
Yeah.
So that's what I like doing. So I feel like right now, yes, I am doing like the ads, and I have someone who helps with the ads for the clients. But for like the company's ads, it's like it's hard for me to just give it to someone else just because I want to keep testing and doing that, but I can't really dedicate as much time as I would like to,
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just been like the challenging part.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For me, it's been, there's all kinds of different challenging stuff. But just having like the operations part of it and like teaching pretty much like, duplicating myself.
Oh, yeah.
That's been challenging.
Yeah, 100%, which is, kind of finding the right, team members, just because, I don't know, like, I had people who've worked for me and they do not put the same amount of energy as me.
Never. They're never going to, especially as, as the owner, right?
Yeah,
high standards.
And like, I'm not even asking for, I'm not asking, just give you 80% of what, like, of like what I do,
Mm-hmm.
That'll be good enough. But yeah, I don't know, dude. Just finding, just kind of finding like the right people to like kind of just duplicate yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like I have found that though when it comes to like running the ads for clients. I have someone in my team that I can like fully trust. I like to travel. I like to travel a lot. Me and my wife, we decided not to have a wedding. We got married through the court, but we decided not to have like a ceremony. Like we even talked to wedding planners and everything in Mexico. And then one day we're just like, do we really want to do this? It's like, do we rather just buy a house and like travel? And we both agree that like, yeah, let's just do that, So I like to travel a lot. So it's good to know that I have someone I can trust to handle all the ads I'm managing,
Yeah, that's good.
And that's where I have found where I can like, I duplicated myself when it comes to the ads. But for everything else, it's just like operations and like just even like the social media, and like hosting meetings and all that stuff. That's been a little challenging.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some stuff for dog trainers. Do you have some kind of tips or maybe one of the biggest mistakes you see that dog trainers are making? And you can pull it a little closer too.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest mistakes that a lot of people do is that they're not open to the idea of running ads on social media. Sometimes they're just, not necessarily saying it's a bad thing to be like stuck in this mentality of like, oh, just word of mouth. Because some people do great when it comes to word of mouth.
Yeah.
Some people have some great following. But if you're not consistently getting leads and you don't have a way of getting leads to your business, then like you're not gonna make money.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna make money. And right now, all the eyeballs are in, social media, like referrals are great, but they're not consistent. Putting ads on like billboards and radio, like people will see it, but like not the right audience. I went to the mall the other day with my wife and I saw like one of those like advertising like in the middle of the mall. And I remember it was like Tuesday, like in the afternoon. And I was like, this is one, it's like kind of hitting in the mall. Two, not a lot of traffic.
Probably
Three,
expensive.
I was going to be like 3, it's probably expensive. I was going to call. I got the number because I wanted to call, but I never did. But I was like who would want to advertise here? Who benefits from like advertising here? So that's why I'm just saying like, social media right now is where all the eyeballs, like the way I like to put it is like, okay, cool. Like if you get 10 random people, how many do you think they listen to the radio? How many think there are magazines, like
a lot less.
A lot less. Ask those same 10 people or just random people, how many are on Facebook or Instagram?
All of them. Exactly,
dude. So that's where like all the eyeballs are at. So one is biggest mistakes not being open to the idea of like running ads. Two is like kind of like leads to that, but like not being able to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you have to adapt to like, you know, like what's working, you know. I mean, you run ads. When it comes to running Facebook, that thing always changes.
Yeah.
It always changes. There's always something new. The campaign manager is like completely different. Like, you know, just everything like, you know, changes. But if you don't really know how to adapt to it, then you're not gonna really, you know, to grow from it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's like the biggest mistakes.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And what about in terms of like the sales and stuff? What kind of things do you see that people can improve on when they're trying to you know, close dog trainer deals?
First, find someone who knows sales. Find someone who knows sales and just really study, you know, the arts of sales. Because one of the things I learned that I didn't really know is just art. Like sales is art.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like playing chess. You know, knowing how to follow up, knowing how to say if someone has an objection, like how do you handle that objection? Like how do you lead them to say certain things? You know, like it's all chess. And I feel just like really dedicating yourself to like learning that new skill. You know, like that's the biggest difference between the dog trainers who are absolutely crushing it and haven't really and those who haven't really, you know, made much money is those who are absolutely crushing it went through the sales training. Not just once, not just twice, but like at least 5 times. You know, and not only that, but like you go through the sales training, you start getting leads, you start learning, you know, a lot of trial and error, and then let's say a month later or a few weeks later, you watch the trainings again. So now you're having a whole different perspective, you know, of like the sales training because now you have experience versus when you didn't, you know. So I feel like just, you know, just really find someone who's absolutely crushing it and just, you know, study it.
Yeah.
Study it.
Got it. What about any other kind of tips you have for people that are maybe just starting out in the dog training industry or want to get into it?
Like as in like wanting to be a dog trainer?
Yeah.
There's a lot of money to be there. There's a lot of money to be there. If you don't have the social media, like the marketing for it, that's fine. Like grow your Instagram. Grow your Instagram. Focus on Reels. Find some strategies on YouTube. And then, you know, just, you know, give away free content on YouTube and on especially like on Instagram because a lot of people are on Instagram. People are right now they really like the short form content, you know, and just really focus on like giving value, and then the money will come, you know.
Yeah.
If you love dogs and you want to do it because you just love dogs, then you know it's not gonna feel like work, you know. I don't know about you, but when I'm running ads, it doesn't really feel like work. You know, just because I love what I do, so I feel like I guess one of the biggest tips is just kind of give a ton of value. You know, give a ton of value. The value, bro, the value that I give like the dog trainers, like those if they take it seriously, it's free value, bro. Free value. They can make a ton of money.
So about the ones like that you said were making $30K when they started working with you, what were they doing before they started working with you?
They were like had a hard time breaking like that 10K mark, you know.
So you pretty much helped them triple the revenue.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
That's magic right there.
Yeah, and it's all lead flow, you know. It's just getting leads. That's it. Like this is why we're in here, just because like we're all about like lead generation, you know, and just getting leads to people and now adding sales to it. Like that's what like, you know, it's like putting gas on the fire.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what really, really helps with that. So, man, I would say just give away a ton of value. Like even like my intro product is one time 97. If those like I offer that, and some people don't see like the value of it, but if they really, really knew of it, what I teach there, I have someone where I'm running ads. We're spending like I want to say like $60,000-$70,000 a month on just running, you know, DM ads, you know, and they're making like a 9-10, you know, return on ad spend. And I teach that for $97, one time payment. And they really, really took it seriously. Like they can really, really grow, you know? So I just feel like they're not really open-minded and like, and if they were just a little bit more open-minded, more serious about their growth and in their education, then they can seriously, you know, make a ton of money.
Boom.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we're just about out of time, but any last message as far as what people can do to reach out to you if they're interested in learning more?
Yeah. I have they can actually go to canineconversions.co, and I have a free, program that teaches them all about running ads on Facebook. I teach them behind the scenes on how I'm launching the ads myself to get these clients like $60,000 months, the offer that I'm running, and how I'm setting everything up. They could go there. They can go to Canine Conversion at Canine Conversions at Instagram, and I literally just give away a lot of free value. I'm all about trying to give value, especially for dog trainers. I know I'm new kid on the block when it comes to the dog world niche. When it comes to Facebook ads, I've been doing this since 2017. So I've spent millions and millions of dollars. So I know what works, what doesn't, and I'm pretty good at looking at like identifying trends and what's the new trend, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why I've been able to do this for a while a lot of people did start with me. Only a fraction just stayed. Mm-hmm. And that's just because I've been able to identify trends and just kind of build off of that. And most importantly, just, educate yourself.
Yeah.
Just educate yourself. Don't stop, doing self-development. Like anytime you have a free time, just try to learn. And that's what I do. Walk my dog and I have my AirPods on and I'm just listening to like self-development, And I feel like that's like that's the reason why no matter how hard business can get, no matter how hard you start a business and then it fails, but you can get back up, like that's the reason why you're able to get back up. It's because you have that mindset, you've been on development so much times that you're like, okay, this is just part of the game. Like if it fails, then I'll just start another one, and until you hit something that sticks and grows,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, bro. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you follow him, tap in at Canine Conversions and canineconversions.co. Thank you so much, Jorge. It's been an awesome episode.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time.
Thank you for having me.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Follow, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.